Okay, so let me give you some takeaways here. We've talked about a lot of things today, and I know it can be confusing and overwhelming, but let me just give you a few takeaways, and I'll be happy if one of you, today, tomorrow, the next day, goes and takes care of these things. The world will be a better place, you'll feel better, your family will be protected. Your financial affairs. You manage your own affairs while you're okay, but what happens if something happens to you and you're no longer okay? Who's going to take care of your affairs? Lots of people think, well, because I have a joint bank account or my son or daughter lives close by, that they'll take care of it. It doesn't work like that. Without a power of attorney, someone does not have the legal ability to manage your financial affairs, to pay your rent, to pay Con Ed, to file your tax returns, to do all the things that you do. Without having a power of attorney, you are not going to be in a position to make things easier for your family. You're going to be in court, it's going to be expensive, it's going to be time consuming, and your family is really, really going to be in a bad way. Second thing, medical decisions. We can't control what happens to us. None of us can do that. We can only do what we can do. But if something does happen to us, we want to at least put our family in a position of being able to communicate with the medical profession so that they can communicate not their wishes, but our wishes. How do they know what our wishes are? Well, we've got to communicate them to our family. Once we communicate them to our family, we then have to legally appoint them as our health care representative to make these decisions for us. We're not giving up the authority to make the decisions ourselves. You can sign the healthcare proxy today, and as long as you're well, you talk to your doctor, you make these decisions. But if something happens to you, that healthcare proxy will kick in. You can't get sick, turn back the clock, and then sign the healthcare proxy, because you might not be able to. HIPAA release we talked about. This is a document that will give your family access to critical, confidential medical information so that they can make the right decision for you. Without it, the doctors are not going to talk to them because the HIPAA release is required under federal and state law in order for the family to have access to your records. So these are things we can do to make it easier for ourselves, make it easier for our family. It's a little bit of work. It's a little bit of investment in time and money for you to get your affairs in order, to get your paperwork together, and to meet with an attorney. But having seen it on both sides, with families that did take care of it and families that did not take care of it, you will spend a lot more money. You will go through a lot more aggravation if you don't take care of this now and something happens than if you simply plan ahead. So my words of wisdom to you today would be to take the time to think about it. Whatever you were going to do tomorrow or the next day or the day after, instead of going to the park, instead of reading the paper, or instead of going to buy a new car, take a little bit of time to figure out what's important to you and how are you going to make sure that those things that are important to you are taken care of. Thank you.